right, Ian. Nintendo pretty much capped off E3, I think, for the most part. Almost last in the docket.
Namco Bandai has a thing, or their thing is happening now, but that's it.
Okay. Well, we'll pay we'll pay respect to whatever Pac-Man announcement they have and whatever else. But right now, or whatever Mappy compilation pack that they're going to come out with. But right now, we're talking about Nintendo E3. They had their event. We watched it live. I watched it on Twitch, and there was some surprise announcements. Our pal Chris Kohler had his list of wants, which was funny because none of them got hit. It's like N64 on Nintendo Switch Online, and Earthbound, and all these Mother 3 and all this stuff. It's like none of that got hit. From the top though, I'll say is that they brought back a lot of things. I thought that like people are like, that's nice to see that again. It was like a sort of a fresh surprise to see a few things like, oh, look at that, now I want that. Thanks for thinking about that. Which we'll get to.
So they brought back a lot of stuff. My main takeaway without talking about anything directly is that they did bring back things that people wanted to see come back. Mm-hmm. Nintendo has far more things in their past that people want to see again than I think anyone realized. And that's how I felt when I came out of it. I was like, wow, that was pretty good. And it wasn't until I looked online and saw all the things that people also wanted to see that were missed. And it's like, okay. And this is, we kind of touched on this with the new IP, Nintendo needing new IPs. I love to see new IPs. I love to see new creative ideas, but Nintendo's back catalog is just loaded with shit that people want to see come back. And there's no possible way you're going to get all of that announced in one E3.
They don't got the manpower to make all those games, to work on 20 different, IPs at once from different, like, it's just, you're not going to get that. But, so the one thing they did not touch upon, they didn't even hint at it, Switch Pro.
Nope.
They didn't hint at it. So the way Nintendo likes to work this stuff, they want to make sure they know what's happening, things are secure probably before they say, okay, we're definitely going to get to it. It's a little bit too early probably for that still. So if we're gonna,
I have a theory on the Switch Pro that we'll get to when we talk about the last thing they showed.
Okay, so we're trying to do that order. Okay, I'm trying to get in the order they actually. What's the order that they showed it?
We don't have to do that. So basically, if we can just talk about this right from the get go. They did finally show some more footage of the Breath of the Wild sequel.
Yes, that capped it. It's like one more thing, and then people got disappointed. There's really two more things, and then they showed the Breath of the Wild sequel
and
teaser.
I don't know, what the original timeline for that was supposed to be. Obviously, the pandemic took a toll on production schedules for things, but it says that it's coming out in 2022. And if I was a betting man, I would guess that they will probably launch a Switch Pro around the time that comes out.
Okay, you're now on Pat's side about 2022.
For that, it makes sense. Earlier in the year, I thought there was a possibility that Zelda might be Christmas 2021. My whole thing is that it's going to come with. It's going to come out with these newer games.
It makes sense to bundle it. It's going to be 5 years. It's going to be 5 years. The Switch is coming out next March already, and why not re-release it with that? Breath of the Wild. Yeah, because you have the more powerful console. I'm sure Breath of the Wild 2 is going to require a little more horsepower. You're now in the sky. You can fly around and go up and, be on little islands in the sky and stuff. There was tentacles coming out, and there wasn't a huge amount there that you could really glom onto in that trailer. But it was a teaser. It's early.
Showed some new powers that looked like they were based off the powers that, he gets in the first Breath of the Wild with like they showed the magnetic or the spiked ball rolling around and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It looks like, more or less a direct continuation of the type of gameplay you saw in the first one.
Let's talk about what they showed. I'll just go. First of all, they led off with the Smash, one of the final Smash DLC characters.
I'm actually happy with that character. It's one of the few Smash DLC characters that I've truly been happy with. I love seeing the fighting game characters from other series come in. I've always been a Kazuya fan in Tekken as well. And it was Nintendo's getting good at slightly trolly things. They really started it off great with, they don't show you who's carrying Ganondorf's body up the mountain. So I think people thought that they were going to be starting off with Breath of the Wild 2 information. because until he throws him off the cliff, it just looks like a Zelda cinematic. So the trailer keeps showing him carrying people up to the top of the cliff and throwing them off, and ended with something that I thought was truly funny, him throwing Kirby off the cliff and Kirby simply floating back
Yeah,
up
it was
and
cute.
away in the
And he
background.
just murdered all these characters. Not murdering
Kirby never dies.
Can't kill Kirby, but he killed everyone else.
That's Sakurai's game. Sakurai and Kirby
so-
is Sakurai. He's not going to let that happen.
If you're not
to Kirby.
familiar with the character, Kazuya is like the main character of at least the first couple of ones, right?
Jin and Kazuya, I would say, are the two main characters.
And yeah, he's like he's not the one with the fire powers. He's the other one, right?
No, he turns into ogre.
Okay. And yeah, I never used him in Tekken, but it's nice to see them acknowledge that you had Terry before. You have Ryu. You got some of these characters coming in, and Tekken's a pretty gigantic.
It's
franchise.
huge. Yeah,
So,
I mean, it's
like,
one of the biggest fighting franchises out there right now.
Yeah, so it's good to see. Yeah, and even the people, I saw less bitching about this than Terry. Thankfully, I'm sure people are still bitching about this, but no, it's nice to see that. It's nice.
What I loved about this announcement too was that it wasn't even remotely. I don't think anyone, as far as I could tell, I don't think anyone had Kazuya on their list of potential characters. There's always the ones that people go back to. Crash and Lloyd from one of the Tales games. There's always these characters that people constantly bring up that they're certain are going to be added.
They're certain.
And this guy was, to me at least, Kazuya was just out of left field. But it makes great sense.
Yeah. Plus, it's easier to incorporate. You have fighting characters that actually fight. So it's nice to see the combos and things like that they already worked in. They already had them all worked out. So I'm like, oh, this is great. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the prime audience for this, but I can picture people being happy with this that are into Tekken. Then you had a Metroid game announced, which was great because I love this stuff that no one is thinking about this, and they dropped this on us.
So Metroid Dread was originally, I guess it was first talked about in like 2005 or 2006, and it was canceled. And this seems to kind of take the original idea of it and bring it back. So it was interesting the way they started with yes, they will never, ever, ever announce anything as far out as they did Metroid Prime 4.
Never again.
Never again. Every time they bring it up, you can see the pain and the hurt in their face that they ever
They're like, yeah, we're working on
brought it up.
And that's it. More information like next year. They're saying, yeah.
They immediately brought that up, and I was like, okay, they're just getting that out of the way first, and that's it. But then, holy shit, we're getting a new 2D Metroid.
Yeah, in the first one in almost 20 years. So the first new full one, obviously the Metroid 2 remake, but the first fresh.
I think
one.
they're counting since Fusion or something like that. Is what it was.
This article, first they're counting. It's also a direct sequel to Metroid Fusion. Okay. Concludes the 5-part saga. Yeah, Metroid 5 came on screen.
Yeah,
and people were like, Metroid 5? They're like, oh, you're skipping. Some people didn't catch the announcement that it's not Prime 4. But then, because it opens with with a CG of full 3D, but then it switches to 2D. Everyone's like, oh my god, it's 2D, and most people seem pretty cool with it. From what I saw, again, this is a toxic Twitch weird chat. But when I looked at it, I'm like, looks pretty damn cool.
I have a feeling it's going to be good. The graphic style, if I'm nitpicking, it looked extremely clean. Very
too clean for you?
Yeah, almost too clean. Very clean and almost sterile.
Well, it's a lot of robotics environments that could be suited to that.
It's not going to turn me away from it. I just thought it was an odd choice.
Okay. He's hunted by robots. She is. That's right. Samus heads to a mysterious remote planet, is hunted by the Emmy robots, all while trying to overcome the dread that is plaguing the planet. Oh, and of course, they have an amiibo announced that comes out on launch with Samus versus the robot, which looks almost like looks kind of like a Valve robot.
I was gonna say the robot. I got a lot of Portal vibes off of the robots.
Very interesting, but they're doing something different. Where robots, that's pretty damn cool. There's some organic stuff in here too. I like the little combo shot things that I saw here, and I'm not the biggest Metroid fan, but I'll probably check this out if they have a demo. At least be like, okay,
yeah, I'm excited for it. And as we've talked about before, Nintendo doing their announce and drop strategy. Here, this comes out October 6th, I think. Very soon.
Nothing for poor Pit from Kid Icarus.
No, that there's a couple things I was hoping to see that I didn't, and Kid Icarus was one of them.
There's going to be an update to Mario Party Superstars coming to Switch on October 29th.
That's a new one.
Oh, it's a brand new one.
It's a new one. It's fine.
Oh.
So this.
So I was right about them testing the online multiplayer, the last one for
everyone
new game.
was right about that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, when everyone who was like, I wonder why they're adding an online update to
This
Super
soon?
Mario Party 3 years after the fact.
Okay.
It's not that soon. It's 3 years after. There was 4 of them on the GameCube.
Oh, okay.
3 of them on the Nintendo 64.
The pandemic was a time where I thought this came out like a year and a half ago.
No, it's been out for 3 years, and
Okay.
they definitely pump these out. As a matter of fact, 100 minigames from the past, great. Only 5 levels from the first 3 games in the series actually seems like kind of scant to me, but whatever.
It said it will include 5 classic boards. I'm not sure that's only going to be 5. Maybe
I was waiting for them to clarify that, and they didn't.
because even the one on the N64 had more than 5. There was like 7 or 8. I should know. I'm editing the reviews.
You should know.
I should know. I might be wrong. At least
But I'm going to go through some of the smaller ones that really excited me that I don't think you'll necessarily touch on.
I don't care.
SMT5, Shin Megami Tensei 5, really looking forward to it. Great series. The third one just got a remaster on the Switch. This is another one of those ones that's kind of like Metroid Prime 4, but for a different company. This was in the very first Nintendo Direct that showed Switch games coming out.
Oh.
There was a very short teaser trailer for Shin Megami Tensei 5. They dropped it and said, fuck all about it until today. So I'm actually really looking forward to that. That's a great series.
They had to work on it.
If you enjoy the Persona games, you'll like this as well. It's definitely different, but a lot of the monsters are the same. It's a very good series. Monkey Ball, I am so excited about this. The first 3 Monkey Ball games... You are really doing this a lot today. The first 3 Monkey Ball games in the series are being remastered and put on 1 cartridge. Those are the best 3 Monkey Ball games, 1 and 2 especially. I'm so happy to see this. When they remastered Banana Blitz in HD a few years ago, everyone was like, why the fuck are they doing this? That's like the worst Monkey Ball. It's the one that no one wanted to see remastered. So to actually see this coming out is great. When people talk about party games, Monkey Ball is one of the first things that pops into my mind. I know a lot of people think Smash or Mario Party. In my first apartment, the first 2 Monkey Ball games were on the TV almost every night. And it wasn't the main game mode. It's all the stupid mini games that they add. Like Monkey Fight and Monkey Target and Monkey Bowling. All of that stuff is fantastic. So I'm very happy to see that. I love the WarioWare series.
I was going to say, let's not...
I love the WarioWare
we gotta
series.
prep that. The WarioWare... People got fucking stoked. I got stoked for that. I love the WarioWare games.
I do.
love them.
And this one looks very different. Well, it looks slightly different in that you actually take control of the characters and do things in the game. So instead of 3-second micro games, a lot of these timers looked like they were closer to 10 seconds. And
there's like action platforming happening in some of them. It looks like
instead of it being like a quick response type of thing,
and the characters play differently in the same puzzles. It looks like. Mini games, that's extremely interesting. So that's like a whole new element. I'm kind of it'd be nice to see with using the Joy-Cons to like pick your nose or whatever, like the old Wii mode or whatever. But this is something fresh at least, and it's one of those games. Again, it's like we forget there's WarioWare is a series that Nintendo can bring back. Every console like this. So that's great to see that.
I'm still playing WarioWare Gold on the 3DS, which was like one of the last official 3DS releases, and it's going to carry me right into this. So I'm very excited.
So nice to see WarioWare back, and then I got stoked until I saw it was just a re-release of Advance Wars.
I'm still stoked.
I mean, it'd be nice to see a whole new game, but maybe this is the start of them doing a whole new game. But it's a
well. We talked. My take on this is we talked about it earlier. There's tons of properties people want to come back from Nintendo. They don't have time to do all of it.
Sure.
So Advance Wars is one of those games where it's like the series is fairly long. People probably haven't played the first 2 in a while. Graphics are totally redone. They look great. There's tons of new animation. And it's the first 2 games on 1 cartridge. I would love to see, I would love to see a new one, but people weren't exactly happy with the direction that the series was going in. So to see the first 2, which are widely considered the best 2 in the series,
that's the only ones I played.
Put on 1 cartridge, And I'm happy with that.
The whole point to me is this: is that a turn-based strategy game like that, you don't need. It's the same game. Like you're not going to need to see like a fresh coat of paint is fine, but it's not going to be a fresh experience for me if I go back and play that. I'd be like, oh, I'm replaying the game. It just looks different. That's all. It's not like a first-person shooter. You know what I mean? That's all. But maybe that means a new game in the future. It looked cute though and adorable. With the graphics it did.
Yeah, it doesn't look like a simple. It looks like they put some effort into it.
But I mean, the core gameplay, it's a turn-based strategy game.
Well, yeah.
So it's like, what are you going to do? But no, it's fine. Then of course they showed the Mario Rabbids thing again. It was different though than what Ubisoft showed. It was a little bit different. And then they showed. We hit most of the main ones until we get to the one that I was super excited about and actually I screamed about because I'm a little fucking kid. Zelda. Game & Watch, which we called, not that we're geniuses. So they're doing a Game & Watch release. Yay! It's adorable and it's green.
It's a bit more. It's a bit beefier than the Mario one too. The Zelda one is Zelda 1 and Zelda 2. But also the Game Boy version of Link's Awakening, which I think is kind of cool. And they're not doing the DX version. They're doing the actual just, pea soup green, black and white Game Boy version.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine.
And then they're adding the clock, of course, and the a special countdown timer that is Zelda 2 themed.
That's great.
But if anything was proven by the first go around with this when they did the Mario one, they're going to make plenty of these. No one's going to need to go out and struggle to pre-order these. Someone even said that one. I think maybe it was even Chris Kohler posted that there were places that had the Mario one on sale for like $40. Like they made enough of them to actually put them on sale.
What did they cost originally? Was it 50? 60. I should have waited. No, but I love this. Unfortunately, you did not get the actual Game & Watch Zelda game on it. Unfortunately, one of the last Game & Watch.
That was a dual screen. Yeah. No way to do that.
Yeah. Could have maybe, I don't know, shrunk it down. But you get a face swap of the Game & Watch title Vermin with Link as a playable character.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So you get an old school, really old school Game & Watch, like early 80s Game & Watch. I love the fact, I had to double check, I looked at the Mario one, that they put start and select above the B and A. I fucking love that. So they actually altered it and put 2 extra buttons on there. That's fantastic. You need that to constantly check, your item and menu and to fire arrows. Sure. How are you gonna fire? I'm trying to look how would you fire arrows with it not having the select button on there. You'd have to do a combo, hit the clock. So no, I don't know. That got to me. Yeah, I'm a fucking collector idiot. I'm gonna get that. Obviously, I think it's adorable.
Yeah, no, it's
the fact that they're doing any game. I don't care if they do Game & Watches for random shit. Like it's the fact that they're bringing back something from their pre-NES era stuff. Like I love that they're doing that. I just love it.
I'm not the biggest Zelda fan, but I was bummed, kind of disappointed in Nintendo for not doing more for Zelda's 35th anniversary. I mean,
you got
those games are sitting right fucking there. I mean, not bringing Wind Waker and
we got the
Twilight Princess to Switch really smacks of just not. I mean, I don't know.
Got Skyward Sword coming. They talked about that. So
it just seems like bare minimum.
Skyward Sword. You got the DLC for the fucking the fighting one that I always forget about. Age of Calamity. They got that. Hyrule Warriors. Yes. That's coming out. They're working on Breath of the Wild 2. They're not going to be squeezing this year. I thought this year would make more sense, but either they're pushing it back because you said because they have the Switch Pro, or they have so many games coming out that they don't want to just clog it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Either way, maybe they'll keep it. Like I said, maybe they'll keep it for March. For the 5th anniversary of the Switch. It makes sense. So I mean, that's I don't know. You wanted the Super Mario All-Star sort of treatment.
Yeah, and not even for me personally, and that's the weird thing. That's how much I feel like they probably should have fucking thrown something like that together. I'm not even a Zelda fan. Had they done it, I probably would not have bought it, but I know Vonnie would have got it. I know a lot of Zelda fans were hoping for something like that. Because of all the things I brought over from the Wii U, the 2 things that I think that are remaining that people would really like to play that were not experienced by many people were the remasters of those 2 Zelda games that they did.
Well, it was always got the 40th in 5 years. you can always look forward to that.
Sure.
So yeah, so I think that my final or one of the final takeaways of this presentation was that there was I hate to use the term, there was something for everyone, but there really was. There was really the only thing that would have totally upped it, if they show F-Zero, then I would be holy shit. That'd be
I would have loved to have seen an F-Zero. I would have loved to have seen Would have loved to have seen a Kid Icarus, and I would have loved to have seen more for Zelda for the Zelda fans. That's pretty much all, though. That I mean,
and we didn't talk about Mario Golf, but that comes out like in a week and a half.
yeah,
And that looks outstanding.
It does. That
looks incredible.
So,
like I don't know how well the other golf ones that come out probably have sold well enough to keep doing them, but that looks. I mean, that with the extra modes they have with like the dash mode, and they have like an arena mode. It's like, and plus they have the Mii mode, like almost like an RPG adventure.
Yep.
So,
they're finally bringing that back.
I chuckled. There was like they showed the Mii, like there was a female Mii character jumping away from like a dragon, like spitting fire. Like you have a golf club, you're going to golf, but like you're avoiding a dragon. It's so silly that like when Nintendo does it, though, you accept it. Like, okay, that's cute. I want to play that sort of idea.
Absolutely.
So yeah, so that was Nintendo. So I guess we'll look later in the year to see if we're gonna have that Switch Pro news or not, because we know they're gonna be probably producing them this year. We'll just see if that comes to happen.
I feel like there's got to be some more stuff. I feel like there's probably a couple more things up their sleeve because there was nothing. Unless I'm wrong. There's really the Metroid. There didn't seem like there was a lot that was targeted specifically at holiday season 2021. This was all like from now
Metroid
until...
is November.
Metroid is October.
It's October? Okay.
Yeah, and I think that was the latest.
So you think that maybe like in late...
I think there might be something they'll announce for November, December, maybe.
Surprise Star Fox game or the remake of the one no one played on Wii U.
That would be nice.
They still got that remake. It's funny. There was another game that's coming out on the Switch that was on the Wii U. There's less and less exclusive Wii U games that are left. There's like less and less every other month.
Star Fox Zero, which blows, and Xenoblade Chronicles X or Xenoblade X. Yeah, I can't think of a whole...
We're running out.
Can't think of a whole lot. The Zelda remasters.
It's going to be the system that never was almost. Give it another like year or two.
Yeah.